All right, so get this. Imagine opening your mail and bam, it's a collection notice for a rental car
Yeah.
that you already paid for.
Yikes.
Talk about a holiday surprise you don't want.
Yeah, that's got to be stressful, especially with, everything else going on this time of year.
Right. Well, that's what happened to you, our listener, and we're going to dive deep into your case and see if we can, I don't know, shed some light on things.
Yeah, hopefully get you some answers and some peace of mind.
Okay, so we're starting with this email from Thrifty saying your rental has been sent to collections.
Wow.
Hold on, let me back up a bit. First, we have the original rental receipt here. It's for March 8th to April 4th, 2024, Fort Lauderdale Airport.
Okay.
You got yourself a Chevy Bolt EV? Pretty cool.
Nice.
Final bill was $1,517.80.
Ah.
But hold on, there's this overdue admin fee of $535.
Mm.
What? That seems a little excessive, don't you think?
Yeah, these fees can be all over the place. Sometimes they're legit. Sometimes it feels like they're just, I don't know, trying to get a little extra cash from you.
Oh, tell me about it.
But really, without knowing why they added that fee, it's hard to say if it's justified or not. Do you have the original rental agreement by any chance?
Let me see. Oh, yeah, here's a PDF of it.
Perfect.
Warning, it's 30 pages long.
Oh, boy. Yeah, those things can be brutal.
I tried to skim it, but honestly, my eyes kind of glazed over.
I don't blame you. It's all that legal jargon. But that's where they often bury the details about these kinds of fees, deep in the fine print.
Oh, I bet.
So if you're looking to challenge that $535, it might be worth digging into that agreement a bit more.
Good point. We'll definitely flag that for later.
Okay.
But hang on, because this is where things get really weird.
Uh-oh.
There's an image here of a second receipt from Thrifty. This one shows miscellaneous credits of Mechalist $4,404, which brings the amount due down to just $113.80.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like two completely different stories. I don't get it.
That is odd. And look at the date on this second receipt, December 18th, 2024.
Almost a year later.
Exactly. Just a few days before that collection email makes you wonder if those miscellaneous credits are maybe a refund or an adjustment to the original bill.
Huh. But wouldn't they just say that clearly? Why this whole cryptic second receipt thing?
Yeah, you'd think so. The lack of clear communication here is definitely a red flag. It makes you question their whole process.
For sure. All right, well, let's jump into your email exchange with Thrifty. Maybe that'll give us some clues.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you first reached out asking about a refund, and their response is, well, bizarre.
What did they say?
They asked if you changed your payment method. Like, what?
This is a weird question, right? Almost like they're trying to find an excuse or something.
Yeah, totally.
And you were very clear in your response. You did not change your payment method, and all charges were made to your Capital One card.
Correct.
This is crucial. This could be a game changer.
So if Capital One confirms the payment went through.
Then Thrifty's whole claim of non-payment just falls apart.
Right, but do we believe Thrifty's system's messed up, or is there something more going on here?
I guess we'll find out.
Stay tuned because we are just getting started. Coming up next, we are going to contact Capital One, investigate that mystery credit, and figure out how to fight back against this collection notice. This deep dive is about to get a lot more intense.
Buckle up. You know that it's amazing how much we rely on these automated systems these days.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere, but when they screw up, it can be a real nightmare to fix things.
It's true. It's like you're arguing with a robot.
Exactly. So in those situations, you got to be your own advocate. You got to fight back.
Well, that's what we're hoping to do here, right? You mentioned earlier contacting Capital One to confirm the payment went through.
Right.
So what then? What do I do with that information?
Well, if they can confirm that you paid, that's huge.
Okay.
That's proof. You can take that to Thrifty, to the credit bureau, show them, hey, look, I paid. This is wrong.
And what about those two receipts, the ones that don't match up?
Oh, yeah, that's gold. That shows that Thrifty's own records are messed up.
Okay, so hopefully that gets the collection removed from my credit report.
Fingers crossed.
But what about that crazy admin fee, the $535? Is there any way to fight that too?
Oh, absolutely. If you can prove that fee was added in error, that it's their fault, then you can absolutely dispute it.
You really think so?
Oh, yeah. And remember that rental agreement, the 30-page one?
Ugh, don't remind me.
I know. But
Yeah.
it might be worth digging through it again, see what it says about those fees. You might find something helpful in there.
All right, fine. I'll put my reading glasses on.
Good. Because sometimes all you need is a little bit of evidence, a paper trail, something to back up your claim.
Okay, let's say I do all that. I clear my name. My credit report is fixed. Even that fee gets reversed. Is there anything else I can do? Like, hold Thrifty accountable for all this stress they caused?
It's a good question, and I gotta say, it's a question a lot of people in your situation ask.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Some folks have gone as far as taking legal action, suing for things like negligence or breach of contract.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, but you gotta weigh the pros and cons. Lawsuits can be expensive and time-consuming.
Right, yeah. I don't know if I have the energy for that.
Totally understandable. But just knowing you have those options can be empowering.
It does, actually. Okay, well, let's shift gears a bit. What can I do to prevent this from happening again?
All right, well, first things first. Always, always read the fine print.
Ugh, I know, I
Now,
know.
it's boring, but it's important. That's where they hide all the sneaky stuff.
All right, fine print it is.
And keep good records, receipts, confirmations, emails, everything.
I usually take photos of everything with my phone. Does that count?
Absolutely. Visual proof is great. And here's another tip. Use a credit card for rentals.
Why is that?
Credit cards offer more protection. If there's a dispute, you can go through your credit card company. They can help fight for you.
Well, that's good to know. So basically, be informed, document everything, and be ready to fight back if I have to.
Exactly. It's all about being proactive and protecting yourself.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've established I need to contact Capital One and dispute that collection notice. But what about Thrifty? Should I try talking to them directly?
It's worth a shot. Sometimes a well-written letter or a phone call can do wonders, especially if you have all your documentation ready.
Okay, so what should I say? Like, what are the key points to hit?
Be clear and firm. Tell them you paid. Point out those discrepancies in the receipts, those miscellaneous credits that seem to have appeared out of nowhere.
And maybe a little bit of, I'm a very disappointed customer wouldn't hurt, right?
A little bit, but keep it professional. Stick to the facts. You want them to fix their mistake, not get defensive.
Right, good point. But let's be real. What if they just ignore me? What if they refuse to budge?
Okay, well then it's time to escalate things. Bring in the big guns.
Oh, like who?
Well, there's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. They handle complaints about financial stuff, like car rentals.
So they could, like, mediate between me and Thrifty.
Exactly. They can investigate and even take action against companies that aren't playing fair.
That's good to know. Are there any other options?
You bet. Your state's Attorney General's office, they usually have a consumer protection division that can help too.
Wow, so there are, like, layers of protection? That's reassuring.
It is. It's good to know that you have rights and there are people out there who can help you enforce them.
Okay, we've covered a lot. From what to do right now to what happens if things get really bad. Anything else we should touch on?
As frustrating as this whole thing is,
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that it is solvable with the right approach and a little bit of persistence. You can get this fixed.
That actually makes me feel a lot better. It's easy to feel powerless against a big company, but knowing there are steps to take, people who can help, it's empowering.
I agree. Knowledge is power. And in this case, that knowledge can help you get your life back on track.
Okay, so before we move on to final thoughts, let's just recap the key takeaways from today.
All right, so number one, read the fine print. Seriously. It's a pain, but it's worth it. Number two, keep good records of everything, every transaction, every email, everything.
Got it?
And number three, if you can, use a credit card for rentals. It gives you an extra layer of protection.
Okay, and if things go wrong, don't be afraid to fight back. Contact your credit card company, the CFPB, even your state attorney general.
Right. You don't have to go through this alone.
All right, with all that in mind, let's move on to final thoughts. What's the big idea we want to leave our listener with today? All right, lay it on me. What's the big takeaway here?
After going through all this, I think what really sticks out is just how important it is to be, financially literate.
Yeah.
Understanding how things work, knowing your rights.
Right.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the financial jargon and just trust that these companies will, do the right thing.
Yeah, but this whole experience is proof that that's not always the case.
Exactly. So you got to be proactive, ask questions, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself if something seems off.
Definitely. I mean, I always thought I was pretty good with my finances, but this whole thing has been a real wake-up call.
I get it. It happens to the best of us. But hey, maybe this is a good thing in disguise. A chance to reevaluate things, get more organized.
You know what? You're right. I think I need to seriously rethink how I manage all my important documents, my financial stuff.
That's a great idea. Maybe this is a chance to level up your whole system.
Yeah, any tips?
Tons. There are budgeting apps that can help you track everything and even set payment reminders.
Oh.
You could create a central filing system for all those important documents, or even just set calendar reminders for yourself to check your accounts regularly.
All great ideas. I mean, it's not just about avoiding late fees and collections, it's about catching mistakes early on.
Exactly. The sooner you spot a problem, the easier it is to fix.
So maybe this rental car fiasco, as much of a pain as it's been, is actually a blessing in disguise.
I like that, turning lemons into lemonade.
Totally. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing, the one message you want our listeners to walk away with today?
Be your own advocate.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to speak up, whether it's a billing error, a confusing contract, anything where you feel like you're not being treated fairly.
Okay.
You have rights, and there are resources out there to help you. Don't let yourself get intimidated or overwhelmed.
Such an important reminder. We do have more power than we think sometimes.
I absolutely do.
Well said. All right, that's going to do it for this deep dive.
Yeah,
Hope you found this helpful and maybe even a little bit empowering.
definitely.
Remember, knowledge is power, and we're always here to help you navigate this crazy world, one deep dive at a time.
That's right. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay empowered.
And stay away from thrifty car rental.
Yeah, maybe for a while.